Yeah, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes,
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 audible.
yes, Navin.
Okay, so already Deepak Deshpande sir is here, and so we have asked everyone to join by 7, but we asked our major people, so they are joining. So probably a lot of people will join, but I will go with the orientation, and it's truly pleasure to have you here, and welcome everyone in this AGMP
Guys,
first
I'm not able to
speaker.
hear.
Who is here? Varun?
I'm
Audible.
audible.
I mean, you are audible. Uh,
Okay. So this is the platform for everyone where ideas, experience, leadership, where wisdom all come together, and we are here to create a lot of great impact to inspire the growth and the reflections. So we are privileged to start our journey of this AGMP speaker series with someone who perfectly represent the spirit of leadership and the excellence and the transformations and the lifelong learning. Deepak Deshpande, sir, with more than 3 decades of rich and diverse experience across business excellence, customer experience, people management, digital transformations, HR leadership, and culture building. So, Deshpande, sir, has been a driving force behind the strategic and organizational transformation for the more than 100 companies within the Tata business ecosystem, and especially Tata Sons. As a vice president and head of customer experience at Tata Business Excellence Group, he has helped and shaped leadership, thinking, and strengthened systems of Tata Sons and their business ecosystems, where he elevated multiple performance standard across the industries. As we have a lot of people from Tata as well, so in the AGMP cohort. So Deshpande sir is one of the certified independent director and a professional certified coach as well, and he's working with the international coaching federations and facilitator team. He is also a renowned speaker and the TEDx speaker and the passionate sports person, and above all, a firm believer in the continuous growth and excellence and the unlearning process. So today's session about the as we did the voting on the advice of Deshpande sir, so we decided to came with the topic of mastering your inner CEO with the excellence mindset that promised to be insightful, thought provoking, and the empowering for all of us. Sir, on the behalf of entire AGMP Batch 17, we are having an honor to welcome you, our speaker, Deepak Deshpande, sir. We are truly grateful to have you here, sir. This stage is yours. We are here to support, and Anindya is our co-host here. He is managing the technical. Then Arvind is here. So we are batch of 125 people, and as we shared the deck with you, sir. So it's an honor to have you here, sir. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Naveen, for those very kind words. I'm really overwhelmed to see almost 120 people over here. But if I to introduce myself in just 2 words, it's basically I'm a seeker and I'm a learner for life. So the other aspects you may it's not that important. And friends, you will also have to pardon me. I'm really running dry cough, so in between I might just sip in a glass of warm water. So I'm really delighted. I think it's very energizing to be with all of you. And thanks to the team, Naveen, Arvind, and India, I've had interactions and the entire thing. First of all, compliments to each one of you for having taken up this course, the Accelerated General Management Program. That also shows your drive, your urge, your keenness to do something additional, something more, which is important for you. So compliments to each one of you, and it's a journey. And on this journey, first of all, a disclaimer: the topic is very interesting. Mastering your inner CEO. So I'll be number one person who can say that I have not yet mastered my inner CEO. I am not even 5% of what needs to be mastered, and it's a journey. The aspect is how can I be a better version of myself. So that's the thing. So that's the disclaimer. I am not a master or of an inner CEO. It's a journey. That's something which is really important. So while I was coming back from Fort back to here, I realized that when you have to get into a session like this, and Naveen started that this is a session about ideas, experimentation, knowledge sharing, and typically 7 p.m. And we all know human beings have been there for last 10,000 years, and over 10,000 years, at around 7 p.m., we would all go back to our respective caves. We would all either have hunted or got certain things, and this is when the light is really dark, right? And that's where our instinct of not being eaten or be very careful of predatory things comes in. So by default, learning happens best in the morning when our pupils are open, we are fresh. So I can imagine all of us are here, some by choice, some by the aspect that we need to be here. So let's do a quick kind of a chat, and if you can just put in the chat where you are right now, as in put an H if you're at home, put a O if you're in office, and put a R in if you're on the road. I hope people are not on the road. And after that, just put a comma and hold on. After that, just put the location also, so that I'll come to know where you are. HOR and what location. So let's get going. Wonderful. So I think home, office, home, office, home, road. Sandeep, please be careful. You're on road. Home, Tritesh, office, Praveen, Nagpur, Surya, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, Indore, Mumbai, Pune, office. Surprising, X. So, can you tell us, Roshni, what is this X? It's a new thing. Maybe you can just unmute and tell what X is, or you can just type in. I'm very curious to know what it is. I'm at a resort. So, yes, so sorry. You should be with your family enjoying holidays.
Actually, I'm really sorry. Nothing like that. Instead of H, I just typed X in a fast rush.
Okay. No problems. No problems. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Yeah. So only my request is Jadeja, Sandeep Nesh, Deepak Chamola, those who are on road, just be a little careful. And it's uh, otherwise an average thing where half of us are at home and half of us are in office. So, so like I said, those who are in office would be in their quest of getting back home. At least people who are in Mumbai, big cities, that itself is a huge challenge. And here we are talking about having this next 45 minutes to 50 minutes where we are all open to ideas and all. So let's do a quick activity. Okay, and that's something which is called centering. So typically, like I said, we are all right now, including me, uh, in a zone where it is security is important, because as cavemen we wanted to go back to our homes and just be at there, and flight or fight is that mode. But for learning, we really need to be quite open. We need to be centered. So again, a small activity: just look around you wherever you are, and look at three things that you see, and from those three things that you see, put down and put one aspect of that you observe. I hope you'll realize the difference between seeing and observing. You can probably see a cup, right? But if I have to go on explaining that it's a beige color, there is something gateway of India, that's an observation. So can you do this quick activity, not more than 30 seconds? Three things that you see and one thing that you observe, anything around you. Yeah, your time starts now, and please use the chat to put in your observations. TV, curtain, shoes, bottle green, remote, white laptop, bag, highway, other vehicles. Okay. Mirror, AC, toy car, laptop, printer, temple, TV, sofa, dining. Okay, so these are the things that you are saying, but pick one, and if you can observe it, the difference is what, look at it a little bit more details. For example, pen. What color pen is it? What type of pen is it? So that's the difference between seeing and observing. Evil's eye, curtains. I got one evil's eye, screen, pen, paper. So one is seeing and one is observing. Steering, road, black car, observing skyline. Okay. Hope you're not driving. Plant, green, red, potted in white ways. Very nice. And cocoa peat, holy color, watch, artwork. Observe. You can observe that the lamp has aged quite a bit and might need to be replaced. Wonderful observation. Thank you, Surya. Wooden table, Mac. Great. So let's move to another activity. So in a way, we are just activating our, which is called VAK, which is basically our visual senses. Now let's be pin drop silence, okay? And this is for around 20 seconds, and just listen. Listen to what you are hearing. I'll also be silent. It might be anything that you're hearing. It might be your fan or your AC or anything, if you're at home or this thing. So just listen. So time starts now. Don't write anything. 20 seconds, just observe. See if you can get at least two sounds which you can differentiate over here. Okay, your time starts now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So what did you hear? Anybody would want to share? Like, okay, wonderful. Car horn, silence, water tapped. I think that's pretty good. You have been able to hear that water tap, pin drop silence. Wonderful. Brown noise, my dog trying to draw attention. Exhaust fan, excellent. I think that's a very nice deed. All the observations are wonderful. Clock tick tick, that is awesome. I mean, that shows that how detailed are we going. Bird chirping and tap water. One truck passing, car horn, fan noise. That again is important because typically we are so used to that fan noise that we'd always miss it. AC humming noise, vehicle horns, people talking. Wonderful, wonderful. Great. Uh, okay, so the next is something which will not do it, but it's very important to center ourselves. So visually, audio, from an audio perspective and kinesthetically. So we'll not do that kinesthetic perspective, but it's very important in terms of how do we really stay grounded. These are some quick exercises, and of course, we always know the breathing technique. And if you actually get into more of it, what are the smells that we are getting? What is the taste that we are getting? So these are some good grounding techniques. And as leaders, it's very important to not be in the survive mode. Survive mode is where there is fear, fight or flight, but a growth mode. And for that growth mode are a deep sense of observation here and now. In one thing, I heard a good thing. I could hear myself breathing. That itself is so powerful and profound. Okay, wonderful. So thank you for being the right sport. And let me just start sharing a few things. So just let me know if my slides are visible.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
visible.
visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I've just played with the thing. So it is master your inner voice through excellence mindset, or excellence mindset to master your inner voice. You've done this exercise. Will not get into it. But what I'd be more curious to know is what is this inner each one of you? Okay, so let's do this Mentimeter, and the inner CEO would be different. And CEO is a new word which has come in now, but imagine 10,000 years back when we were all cave persons, still there would have been something equivalent to an inner CEO. So, what is that inner CEO? So, please open this particular, let me share my screen again. Go to this link. Yeah. So I hope you see this link
Yes,
and
sir.
yeah. And just put in what is emerging. What does inner CEO mean to you? Okay, wonderful. We have started getting responses. But my suggestion is there's a thing called group think, which means we'll look at something, let's say a leader, and that is the most easy, most familiar thing to do. So don't look at it. Just come with what's important for you. Refining inner gut feel. Okay. So 30 seconds. Don't. So those who are yet to log in, please do that. I understand there were almost 80 people. There are 30 people who have come in. So if you can use this Mentimeter, and there is nothing right or wrong. Oh, wonderful. Managing self leader seems to be on the leaderboard. Okay, last 30 seconds and then we'll move on. Okay, so I think this is pretty good as others open up the Mentimeter and put in their responses. What does inner CEO mean to you? And like I said, there's nothing right or wrong. That is our truth, what it means. But anybody would want to open up and see what's coming in. Anything which is standing out or anything which is there, we need to look at it. For example, there is something called observer, empathy, refining gut feel. So anybody would want to just share what's emerging from you.
So may I?
Yes, please.
For me, it's ownership, taking the responsibility and having authority to execute something on strategic level, maybe.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, taking authority, or sometimes we don't even have the authority, right? As leaders, we need a good influencer without authority to get things done. But great points. Anybody else wants to share?
Yeah, may I go in?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I was one who answered refining inner gut feel. So gut feel is traditionally what we acquire over a period of time based on our own experiences. So the refined word comes as in when new data presents itself, which challenges our feeling or our whatever we believed so far. It's about refining that and not sticking to that. So that was where I was coming.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great point. Yeah, that aspect of gut feel, intuitiveness is important. Yes, ma'am, please go ahead. Yeah, somebody wanted to speak, I thought.
Executor with an vision.
Oh, wonderful. I really love it. Yeah, that executor is something which is very important. Uh, it could be a nice wordplay. Executor with a vision, or a vision which is executed. Worth reflecting.
So may I speak?
Yes, please.
Sir,
So
can
please
we
don't ask permission. You can just go ahead and this thing.
so So visionary, he has to be someone who can vision down the line ki where he want to move his company. He have some integrity also, ethical integrity, and he can be a good leader.
Wonderful. I agree with all the points. Only one point I don't agree is it could be he or she. It doesn't have to just be a he. Do you agree with that?
Yes,
So
sir.
that sometimes those biases come in, but when we are looking at it, it could be anybody, and that's where we need to be more mindful of in terms of how it comes. But completely agree on the attributes that you mentioned. So wonderful. Let me just go back to the thing. Stop sharing and. Um, yeah, so this is what we looked at. However, I also thought that if you have to actually look at CEO, what does CEO mean? And that is my version, right? It doesn't have to be the same for everybody. Basis various things, I felt if we have to look at the aspect of CEO, and there are multiple things which can go on, and the definition of leadership itself keeps on changing. So for me, I thought the first aspect is as a CEO or anybody who is there, it can also be an inner voice. It could be just the clarity of vision. So I thought this is really important for what we are doing. And let me just relate this with being a leader. And this leader need not be only in an area. And this is where I would want each one of us to take this exercise. And this is an exercise which I do every year very rigorously. I visit it at least uh, once in a quarter. I make it once in a year. I review it and do it with my family and my clear ecosystem. So as we get into it, this is an exercise which is really, really powerful. I know the time is not good enough, but really important. So there are different uh, dimensions of your life. Do you all agree? Yes, no?
Yes.
So yeah, so obviously one is the professional role that we all play, right? We have got enrolled over here because we would want to do well in our respective organization, or we are entrepreneurs, we would want to do well over there. So there's a role that is there which we would want to play. In that role, we'll be having a whole lot of collaborators. It might be your team members, it might be your peers, and so on and so forth. So it would be good to put it, but let's look at it later on. Likewise, there'll be stakeholders. The stakeholders would be your customers, your vendors, your internal customers, your people, and so on. So it's a good exercise to look at it. And then there'll be competitors. Competitors would be sometimes your own peers. Finally, when it comes to nowadays, now this PMS month, and with bell curve, we always know that एक promotion होगा तो किसको जाएगा. So there is always this collaboration as well as competition. So always good to look at it. But what is important is what is my vision for the current role that I play in the organization where I am. Um, and what, so quick question, there is this my vision and my mission. Any this thing, what is the difference between vision and mission? Anybody wants to take a quick stab at it?
My vision, I could say that it's something that I want to achieve, or I want to a goal that I want to reach. Mission is a process by which I want to achieve that.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
pretty close. However, vision is very right. This is where my vision is. This is where I would want to reach. Mission is why do I exist, or what would I leave behind? So like we say, na, this has been done with a missionary zeal, which means ki boss, this is what my to be the best in this particular aspect. So that's the missionary thing. Normally vision changes. Right now at I see average age around 37. So there'll be some vision, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. But mission is typically difficult to achieve or arrive at. Saying ki boss, when I superannuate, when I retire, when I know more, this is where I should be known for. So that's the difference between a vision and a mission. Okay, so what we'll do is this activity, it's a very uh, intense activity, but I would still urge and invite all of you to participate into it in terms of just take a pen and paper, write what is your vision in your professional thing, what you want to be. Let's say that vision could be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So your parameterizing vision becomes important. Saying that सिर्फ growth नहीं, सिर्फ promotion नहीं, what exactly do you want to do, what exactly, so that parameterization becomes important. So keep that thing in mind. But like I said, all of us deal with multiple stakeholders. There are different aspects of life. And like somebody mentioned that, Acha, I am at home, I am listening to my daughter fighting, right? So right now, I'm sure our colleague is has to play that role of a cohort member who is learning over here, but as well as a parent who is there to take care of the daughter who is there, so that they don't hurt themselves and so on. So this is again a good aspect to look at. My vision for my family, so this again, look at aspects. If you're single, if you're having a partner, there might be people who might have elderly parents, more responsibility. So for example, people might go on a family way also, right? So this is what it is. So that also needs to be balanced. We can't say that I'll just focus on professional at times. And typically you'll see when we're expecting a new member in the family, or typically when our kids are in board 10th 12th, that year we'll say ki boss, all that is fine, even if I don't get promotion, I need to be with my kids, or this is where my partner needs me the most. So that's a very important aspect. My vision for my family for next, let's say, 2 3 years. And that's where I said, when I do this exercise, I do it with my family, because each one of them also have their own thing. My son has it, my daughter has it, my wife has it, and we all sit together and decide what is important. And there are lots of challenges, lots of conflicts, and so on. The third aspect I'll quickly go through is the society and friend, that role that I play, or self, me, myself. It could be I would want to complete this uh, AGMP course, or I would want to acquire new skills, or it could be as simple as I want to really be fit, or this thing. So I will take around 3 minutes. I know the time is less, and like I said, when I get into it, it is a 2 day exercise for me. It is quite intense, and every time when we look at it, and it's always good if we time it. But sometimes the external situation changes, and we have to revisit the vision. Something in family changes, we have to do it. Something in geopolitical scenario, society, things change, we have to revision. I mean, classic example is the US tariff. And because of that, we know there are lots of people who are not getting the H1B. So it means there's a change in something. We can't say that, boss, I'll just continue with my vision on my professional side. Something in the environment has changed, which means we need to go back and see what's happening. What are the collaborators? What are the stakeholders? What are the competition? What is the vision? And if you're unable to go back to US since the H1B is not there, what are the different options? So all of you are getting a sense. So my request is we'll just take around 2 3 minutes and put it down. But I would strongly urge you to probably take a screenshot of this. And this, I find it very powerful, very useful. And elements of this become, and then you are a leader across all the aspects, right? So 3 minutes. Uh, take your time, and this is a deep reflective aspect. And that's where we did the centering and all. Just think through what comes first. It might be profession, it might be family, but just apply your mind and try to cover all four. At least if you can write certain things, they'll be good. So 3 minutes for this exercise.
So before we write, before I write, I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, please.
So you mentioned about a vision that it might change. somehow I have that. I mean, what I found it like vision is something that is which we keep constant, and then the mission is something that these are the steps that would help you achieve the vision, right? So, is it not that the mission is something wherein we change or tweak the steps to reach to that particular vision where we aspire to be? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
I'm,
no.
I'm not sure if I am
It's
asking
a
the right
great
question.
it's a great question. So let me give you an example. Uh, if you look at let's look at some great iconic people. Let's take MF Hussain or Sachin Tendulkar. So the way they were playing, we say they are god of cricket, right? They are really missionary. So whatever comes in, they will always keep on doing that particular thing. So to be the greatest in that particular field is what is mission is, and typically the mission keeps on changing. I mean, we have all seen as kids. So, I mean, every week my daughter used to say, "I'll become a journalist, I'll become a photographer, I'll become this and that." And this age group between 30 to 40 is still something which changes. But you'd be having broader aspects. So there is Edgar Sheen's career anchors, which tells you that which are the areas where if you do it, you'll be more successful. It might be service orientation, it might be general management, it might be something in, let's say, armed forces services. So that's the mission. I would want to be the best soldier, or I would want to be the best doctor, or best heart surgeon. So that's a mission. Or I would want to do some service, right? If that's the thing, then you say to on that path, my vision is let me just go and do some, let's say, best doctor or a cardiac surgeon, do certain open heart surgery, or let me try something new or this thing. So that is the vision. If you keep on doing it repeatedly, that is when you become a somebody, like we say, we do it in a missionary zeal. I hope, Shivani, that helps you get that clarity. Vision translates into strategy.
Okay,
Strategy gets into this thing, but mission is something. It's like legend. Mission typically doesn't change.
okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Are we good? Just look at those aspects which might seem very clear, but there might be aspects which might be conflicting. Uh, and it's okay. And that's where, as leaders, we'll have to look at prioritizing things, focusing things which are really important. For example, on a family front, it might be like, I want to buy a new home, or I want to buy a car, or I want to get admission for my kids, or do certain things, or take care of my family, parents. So put those aspects, and there'll be other aspects also. These are just four. It could be health related, it could be your hobbies, your passion. So how many of you have got this thing, the at least two vision statements written? You can use the chat and put, you have at least some thought on two or more vision set. You can just put 2, 3, 4. If it is one, I'd urge you to put more thing. Yeah, you can just put, you have at least directional vision statement on 2 facets of life. It could be 3 facets or 4 facets. If somebody is one, it is fine. Great. I think Darshila said responsibility for outcomes, not just tasks, strong mental well-being, maintain work-life balance, personal new travel experiences. Wonderful. So each one of them will go and sit over here. So, for example, responsibility for outcomes. So, if we have to go further, we'll say what outcomes. So, these outcomes are around which areas? Is it professional? Is it family? Strong mental well-being. So, when you're looking at strong mental well-being, what is the measure of that particular mental well-being? Maintain work-life balance. What is your definition of work-life balance? So, those are the things which will come in as we move on. But thanks, Darshil, for sharing. Anybody else? If you can just put in how many vision statements you have put in, and you don't have to put in the vision statement, it's all yours. But like I said, we are doing a real super fast exercise, and I spent at least 2 hours, 2 days, and reiterating, going back, and so on. Achievement of career. So, Shreya Jain, achievement of career growth, it's very generic. Do you want to be more specific? What does career growth mean to you? Is it number of years of experience, promotion? Is it acquiring new skills, getting new clients, or taking up new projects? So try to define those aspects, which becomes important. Some questions to corner. 3 docents that will help us to think, plan, and execute better in their life, career specific key pointers on balancing. Yeah. So see, nobody is going to tell us what are the key pointers on balancing work-life balance. So it's no more balancing. It is basically integrating. How do you integrate work with life? And see, nobody we don't we work to live. We don't live to work. So those are the aspects we need to keep it in mind. Yeah, I think that's Pangram's learn AI model development next 7 months, family relocate with parents in next 3 years. Very nice. Family relocate self 21 kilometers in tours. Wonderful. You seem to be a marathoner. So a normal average, I do 10 kilometers in around 60-65. So 21 will be a very good thing. Okay, so let me vision to become CHRO in 5 years, vision personal to become 30% fitter by end of 20. Wonderful, Surya. I think that's very nice. But as you get into it, probably you'll also have to look at what's your thing as CHRO, but where do you want to be a CHRO? So as you think over it, that would also help. CHRO in a small company, mid-sized company, large company, what kind of industry? Very people centric, let's say IT, ITS, where number of people are huge. So those are questions you'll have to ask yourself. To be 30% fitter, I think that's a good one. So you'll have to see what does that 30% fitness mean. It could be in terms of weight, it could be in terms of, let's say, just the push-ups that you are doing or your fitness and tiredness level. So try to put in those aspects that would kind of help you. Long run to build an wonderful. I think building a university is very missionary, and to get admission in Harvard or MIT in next 2-3 years is more of a vision statement. So great. So thank you so much for participating in this particular activity. So this was to get a sense of clarity of vision that we spoke about. So shall we move on? Everybody has got a sense of why we need to get back to the C of CEO, clarity of vision. Boss, करना क्या चाहते हैं हम? I mean, is it adequately clear? And there will be cross paths where we have to challenge, we have to struggle. we are doing everything, and suddenly something goes back, and we have to say, boss, all this is fine, but my parent is unwell. They need my attention. They need my focus, or something might come in, and that's life. This is what we plan, but what life has different plans for us. Is that okay with everybody? Can we move on this exercise? Yeah, somebody can just give me an indication since I can't see.
Sure, sir. We can move on.
Okay. Was it an easy exercise or a difficult when we actually get into more details when we put KPIs and all? And
Quite easy and effective, indeed.
right, right. But take this to your family members, discuss it with them, because finally, what I do and let's say what my spouse does. Example, she is a homemaker. She might focus more on vision for family, and then the entire collaboration and all has to come in over there. Even my mother doesn't do it, but some aspects we still do it. For example, elderly parents would like to go for a yatra and all. So it's a very powerful exercise, and try to involve your immediate family members or key stakeholders who are part of it. Okay, now that we have gone into clarity of vision, and this is vision across the four aspects. Like somebody said, I want to buy a house, or I want to get into an MIT, or this thing. That vision needs to translate into solid execution. So I think that is something which really becomes important. And for that, let's have a look at this small video. And this, I really love it, which is called Tug of War, because it is lots of priorities which are there, which we need to work on. On one side we have office, on the other side you have your own learning, because somebody said that I don't want to complete this course, probably enhance my career, because that is where we are looking at it. It could be family way, so lots of priorities would be coming in over here. So this is the tug of war which we do, and I'll kind of play this video. I hope you can hear us.
Yes.
Okay, let me just take a pause and see what's happening over here. Obviously, there are two teams, and which team is seeming to be winning? Green or red?
Green.
Green right now.
Very clearly, green seems to be winning, right? And you are absolutely right. So let's just move on and see. Now what's going to happen? I know I'm playing the devils, but you can see the red line, right? So almost this thing, the red team has come to the thing. So let's just keep going. Yeah. So any quick thoughts?
I would just like to say, like, the video has a very clear message. You don't have to give up. Whatever it is there, you have to keep trying, and might be what you are trying is not the correct way, or you might have achieved a step. Then again, try another way, and if it doesn't work, go try another way till the time you achieve it.
Wonderful. Great point. Anybody else would want to share?
Yeah, this is about the never die attitude. I mean, whatever happen, just don't try, don't lose your hope. Keep going, keep going.
All right. Anything else?
Hello.
Yes, Pradeep.
Yes. My observation is sometimes in pressure situation, our capability reflects more what we expect. So pressure, there must be a pressure of situation to know our exact capability. Because in comfort zone, we might deliver under performance.
Absolutely. No, great point. Uh, uh, so if you have to relate this with our vision, we have put in some things right there. And the E, what is the E part of it? C was clarity of vision. What was E, if you recollect?
Execution.
Yeah, but there are more words to it. It was not just execution. There was execution.
Execution led evolution
And improvement.
and improvement.
So is there a difference between execution and execution-led evolution and improvement? So one is it's like
Yes.
we have an axe and you're khatakat marte ja rahe. But in this video, did we see execution very clearly? That boy didn't give up when the entire team had given up. That was probably the easiest. And if you look at it, he was the last person standing in the queue, and nobody would have blamed him कि boss अरे क्यों छोड़ दिया. Because there were stronger guys in the front, and he was just a whisker away from the red line. But he did what he was supposed to do. And in our lives also, when we look at a vision, it could be a professional vision, your family related vision. That's that tug of war where we have to balance it, do various things together, and manage it, and still keep on doing. Sometimes we win, sometimes we might be pulled out on the other side. But again, coming back to the excellence aspect, is execution, which we very clearly saw. Was there any element of evaluation and improvement that you saw in this entire video? Yeah, and it's okay. There's nothing right or wrong.
So, yeah, I would like to add, like, if you, like you just now said, that guy changed the position from last to the front when he saw like his team has need to pull more from the top. So that's again. Then he went back when he saw it was again on the losing side. So that's why we need to modify our plan to get the to achieve our goal.
Wonderful, great. Yes, ma'am. Somebody wanted to say something. Yeah, please.
I was saying the same thing, that it is like continuously rotating, coming to the front and then pulling the rope, so that they are equally, trying to pull that. So it's the same thing.
Excellent. Perfect. So I think that is a very important aspect that we are getting to get into, which is from an excellence perspective. And we'll come across 4 alphabets, which I feel are really very, very strong. It's called ADLI. A is the approach, right? The approach is to just pull it, intent to pull it, right? Everybody had that intent to pull it. Deployment is actually doing it, because it requires significant amount of strength and rigor and discipline, perseverance and all, not to let go. And that is the easiest. Third element is learning, where that improvement we saw and very beautifully identified. That small boy thought that I'm doing it very well at the end, but let me go in the front. So that boy goes in the front. So that's an evaluation and improvement in the ongoing process. And he leads it from the front, pushes that thing. Then suddenly he realizes that, boss, I have come in front, but we are still losing. So again, he changes his position. He goes back to the end and quickly adapts. So it is the L part of it: approach, deployment, learning. And the I dimension is all about the integration part of it, which means when you are doing it, you need everything to come together. So that's where we are going to get into the execution-led evaluation and improvement. So when we are doing various things, for example, when we are saying that I would want to open an university, it's not easy, but we'll have to keep on doing the same thing time and again repeatedly. The entire aspect of 10,000 hours of this thing, we all know. That's where we get that sense of expertise. But as we are getting it, we should also kind of sharpen our axe. So tell me, normally everybody has New Year resolutions. Which is the most common New Year resolution?
Going to gym.
Yes.
Okay.
Fitness.
Fitness, absolutely. It is about fitness. And typically, what is it? There is a scale which says, ki, boss, you're too heavy, or our old pants are not fitting us. And we said, ki, boss, ye both ho gaya. And by December end, we'll do that. So what do we do? That is the approach. So what all do we do? We take a gym membership.
Membership.
And what else do we do?
And clothes.
Diet.
Correct, हाँ. So diet आ जाएगा, but before that we'll say अरे यार डेकाथलॉन में जाएंगे and gym वैसे भी start करना है, and the membership would not be 3 months. We'll say अरे 1 year complete membership. Then we'll buy a new set of shoes, get everything and claim. So that's all good. That's the approach part of it. The intent is there. So what happens on 1st of January? We say अरे नहीं, first thing in the morning. हाँ, we set the alarm and say अरे नहीं यार पार्टी क्या second से start करते हैं. Right? So approach is there, but is that deployment happening? No. Then there is a pressure कि boss, you have taken so much, at least go. इतना invest किया है. Then after a couple of days, I'm not saying it happens everywhere, but just to illustrate the example of ADLI, which is execution-led evaluation and improvement. Then we'll say, okay, we'll, like somebody said, start walking, or January is trial period. So then we start going, we do various things. But when we come back and when we do, still our pants, we are not getting into the pants, or the weighing scale is still going on the other side. Then we say, boss, gym to ja raha hu, but what's happening? Approach is there, deployment is there. Every morning we are going at 6, spending an hour. That's where the reflection comes in. That's where the kid did what was the right thing to do. Then he says, okay, boss, I'm going to gym, but what am I actually doing? I'm going to gym, but I'm just chit-chatting and having good this thing and coming back. Then that thing comes, ki, boss, nay, actually I need to, for example, do some cardio or do some weight training or do certain things. So that is where the evaluation and learning will happen. And the benefits would be seen. Then the weighing needle will kind of slowly stop for month or two. Then you will find that the weighing scale has stopped. Yeah, results don't follow a straight line curve, but then it will be a saturation. Then you will say, acha, all that is fine, what do we do it? Then you will say, I need to do a personal trainer, I need to do various things. And the evaluation and improvement is happening. But then you realize now I'm coming to the I dimension. We looked at approach, we looked at deployment, we looked at learning. The I dimension is the integration dimension. And I think Prasad mentioned it is the diet. Then we'll realize, ki, boss, I'm going and burning all those calories, but having food, it is like totally out of the world, which means my food also needs to be moderated. So there's a different process. Waking up in the morning, going to gym is one process. Deciding what to eat is another process, right? And then you say that, okay, now let me just control or be more aware of what I'm eating and so on. So likewise, if you look at high performing athletes, I mean, classic example is Virat Kohli. The way he is transformed, it's iconic. So it starts with not only exercising, we have seen him weighing, lifting weights and all, but 80% of the entire thing is in the discipline which he has in the kitchen. And again, you have that, but they would also say that just before the tournament, Olympians and all, they ensure that they have good rest also. Because if you have a major event, you can't just overexert, and during the actual event, it will not do. So you need to ensure that you are priming up for that particular thing. When the Olympics is there, you are at elite level of fitness. Then you'll get into, even in diet, you'll get into more deeper granular level. It is not about eating less, but probably eating right. Then people who are into this will say, "Nee, nee, you need to have proteins, you need to have less carbs, you need to have fat, all those things." Then a deeper level of this thing will come into nutrients, your hormones which are there, your insulin. And actually, you see, that is where integration happens, where people use the glucose monitoring system devices, which nowadays all the things are well connected. Your weighing machine is connected, your watches are connected, what you eat, your GCM is connected. You get an entire this thing. So that is the journey of excellence, where we look at approach, we look at deployment, we look at learning, and finally the integration part of it. So integration in this thing where the boy was doing is actually calling everybody, motivating everybody to come in. But in our real life, when we speak about work life integration, it's how do we continue to be on tug of war and look at various aspects which would require integration. Sometimes it's like a piano. You can't play all the keys at the same time. That's where we'll have to see what is the most important key, what do we do, how do we do. Let me just take a pause and see how is this entire thing landing. We have looked at what is C, clarity of vision. We have looked at what is E, which is basically the way will be executing, execution-led evaluation and improvement. So whatever we are doing, we need to look at, it's again a PDCA, plan, do, check, act. The PD cycle basically says the same thing. So ADLI is the same. So let me just pause and see if anybody has any pointers or questions around this. You can take any aspect. Let's say when we would have been studying, or we wanted to clear an examination, or when you are doing certain things, or let's say kids appear for 10th or board or want to appear for JE. This is exactly the way they do. They have an approach, they have a deployment, they know what they will study. Basis that they'll know that this subject needs more attention, or this subject is not my favorite, but I still need to do it, or I'm most active when I do this. So they'll create that thing. And closer to the examination, what happens is the entire family gives up. Parents say that, okay, they would not say that, boss, you study, I'll watch Netflix. So there is significant sacrifice by the entire family who will say that, next 2 months, everything band. Will not do that. So that is that element of integration which comes in. And towards the end, they'll say, boss, you have studied quite well. Now, last few days, you just need to ensure that you have good sleep, eat healthy, avoid ice creams, so that you really go there. So actually, you can see ADLI in any and every aspect of your life. Whatever we do, there is an ADLI.
Yeah, so I will all request to all my batchmates to go with the interactions and go with the questions to the Deshpande sir.
No, it's okay. I mean, uh, uh, it's fine. I mean, we don't have to force any questions, but if any clarification is required, let me know. Otherwise, we can just quickly move on.
But we are pretty much clear. It was very good.
Perfect. So ADLI is, I think, very important in our life, and it starts with the deployment. And once we do that, the entire aspect of L&I becomes important. And AI, actually, if you look at data, AI is nothing but L&I. Earlier, data used to be in Excels, and when we speak about LMM, large language modules and all, they are nothing but looking at all the data and helping us on the L dimension and I dimension. So as leaders, we need to leverage, like I use multiple things in our organization also. We should look at various aspects which would give deployment or execution is given, but what would help us to learn and integrate with various aspects becomes important. Okay, so let me quickly move on with so we'll not do this exercise, but when you are looking at excellence, and I was introduced as somebody who looks at excellence of organization. So if you look at any of the world-class organizations, can anybody name any world-class organization that you really admire? World-class, huh? It has to be really world-class. Just name an organization.
Google.
Of course, Google. Wonderful. Great. Any other?
Tata Group.
Okay. Anything else?
Daimler.
Perfect. And then typically you will get a Microsoft, you will get a
Amazon.
you'll get an Amazon, and you'll get a GE, you'll get a Disneyland, right? So they are into a different thing. But if you look at Americans' standards, what they do is they look at what are the attributes of high performing companies. And these are this 11 core values. I'll quickly get into it. So if you look at these companies, they are demonstrating those aspects very well. Uh, I'll come to systems perspective, but visionary leadership very clearly. Your leader has to be really visionary. You have Apple CEO, lots of CEOs who are really visionary. We spoke about Disneyland or even Google, where really customer focus. Google again is like valuing people, and there are a whole lot of organizations which are really agile and resilient, who change things, who anticipate certain things and change things. If you're and this is something for which the organization needs to have processes. Then you have this element of organization learning, focus on success and innovation, management by fact. How do you take decisions based on data? Societal contribution, let's say Tata Group does good amount of thing. Ethics and transparency is important. We know companies like Enron, Satyam, who don't exist because they were not ethical. And finally, every company has to deliver values and results. So, if you look at, if like I said, if you do this exercise, you will find that these companies would have take and at least 6 to 7, and they would be doing at least 60 to 70% good work on those particular aspects. So, these are the core values of excellence. And likewise, you can also look at excellence attributes which are there at a personal level, individual level. So you'll also come across certain things. Now, when you look at an organizational excellence, you have companies, vision, mission, strategic objectives, and that's where the values. Let's say we are saying that we'll be customer centric. So for being customer centric, we need to be having a process. Those process should be customer listening mechanisms. How are we listening to our customers? How are we understanding what their needs are? And then translating those needs into products, services, and experiences. So these processes have to be well deployed in the organization. We can't say that we have a listening mechanism, but we are not using it. So the processes have to be deployed, and basis the results, we'll have to compare, evaluate, and improve, which leads to the complete PDCA cycle. So this is what we typically look at from an organizational excellence perspective. But the same principles are so true when you are looking at personal excellence. What you have put in those 4 dimensions of your vision is this. So for that particular vision, like somebody said, I'd like to buy a house, or I want to shift my parents. To do that, there are a whole lot of processes which would be required. Somebody say that I'd like to be a CHRO. So that's an intent. How do you convert that intent into certain aspects which are practices, deployment, education, experience, and exposure? All 3 of them are important. So this is something which works. And what we saw, so the correlation of excellence is across all these aspects of self, work, education, family, systems, how many the tugs of wars each one of us has, and how are we working on that particular aspect becomes really important over here. Okay. And again, coming back at an individual level, as me as a person, as my inner voice, we need to have lots of rituals. We need to have lots of protocols. We need to have lots of things which we are doing it on a continuous basis. Let's say one interesting thing was I would want to be fitter by 30%. What is it that I'll do on a continuous basis, daily basis? What is it that I'll be doing on a weekly basis, monthly basis? What is it that I should be doing in 10 years, 20 years for life? So when I said that I take at least 2 days for the visioning exercise, then it gets into all those granularities. So typically, my belief is we don't work. We work to live. We don't live to work, and hence a proper balance is important. And typically, my day starts at around 4, and then I try to do various things which energizes me. I kind of try to see what are these areas where I'm afraid of. Like I used to be damn scared of dogs, but now in my farm I've had very strange animals. I'm very comfortable with snakes. So that's where my growth is happening. But it doesn't happen just like this. So these are the rituals. Once you put the vision, that would help you to kind of look at. Very quickly, this is the mantra of approach deployment learning. I quickly go through is approach is what are the systematic steps that you would want to do, which are repeatable, measurable, adaptable, and improvable. Like approach without deployment is just an intent. Like weight badana hai, newer resolution, and every year we take that membership, nothing happens. Or that aspect that I'll get certified on certain things. So it is just an intent. Deployment has to be demonstratable, it has to be consistent, breadth, width, and it has to be measured. Evaluation and improvement is what we spoke about, vertical concept, when we saw that boy running around in the front and doing correction, prevention, refinement, and proaction. And the last aspect is horizontal aspect, because we need to work from a system basis. We'll have to work in this ecosystem of working with everybody together. And this cohort, when we are all learning, how do we continue to work on this? So we spoke about 4 alphabets, ADLI, there's a process. Outcome of a process is result. So when we look at a process, the outcome is the result, which is a KPI. That is where I was saying try to put a KPI. So that these are some of the aspects. I'll not get into it, maybe some other time. And this is exactly what we use, be it organizational excellence, institutional excellence. I think there's some work I'm doing on civilizational excellence, as well as personal excellence for sure. We took this example of being healthy around weight. So it's not the output measures, the weighing scale which we spoke about will tell you at the end of the process. What is important is, are we waking up at time? Are we spending that time? Are we measuring the food that we are eating? So input measures becomes really important, and comparisons in terms of let's say if I would want to get that promotion, we'll have to look at who all are there. So if you go back to the first slide, stakeholders, collaborators, competition, these are the aspects which become important. So I'll quickly go on. This is a similar thing. It might change from person to person, but it's basically purpose driven and various aspects which are there. I'll not get into it. All of us are, you are actually very intelligent, very smart to find what is it that would be requiring. I've put in this, but it doesn't mean this is all. There are certain aspects which will come in, right from a physical self, your mental self, to your spiritual self. So what does being a CEO mean as a person, to what does CEO mean to be at a mental level, and what does being CEO mean at a spiritual level? So we have looked at it, and this is the last one, onward and upward. So I think this is the final thing. We need to be finally appreciative of whatever we have, and take on with all those aspects. So I also do scuba diving, and one of my best lessons was when I was doing a scuba dive at around 10 meters depth. I realized that there was air which was getting into my mask, and it was a little dangerous kind of a situation. And typically we do it as a buddy. I was trying to reach out to my partner, and there was this trainer, but they were drifting. That is when I realized the importance of that one breath that you are having. If you all recollect, we started this exercise with breathing and all, but that one breath defines, are we there or are we not there? Are we grateful to that particular breath which is keeping us alive? Is what is onward and upward means. And this is something which I really love. I don't know if you have seen this gentleman, but really inspirational for me. Let's end with this particular video.
When you're in school, when you're growing up in life, it actually sort of matters to people how you look. And then it matters to you because it matters to others. And the fear that we have is that we're going to be alone, that we're not good enough. And, you know, we have to change ourselves. And, you know, so many people put me down and say, Nick, you look too weird and no one's really your friend and you can't do this and you can't do that. And I couldn't change anything. It's not like just fixing my hair one day and everything's fine. I couldn't change my circumstance. I couldn't just one day wake up and say, hey, give me arms and legs. I need arms and legs. It was so hard because people put me down. And I started believing that I was not good enough. I started believing that I was a failure, that I'll never ever be somebody who people would like or people would accept. And it was so hard, man. I thought to myself, I can't go on the soccer field like everybody else, and I can't ride my bike, and I can't skateboard, and all these sort of things. And I started getting depressed. I thought, what kind of purpose do I have to live? I mean, are you just here to live to die? I mean, is there not a purpose for me? Is there not a purpose in life? And I had questions and no answers. And I asked my mum and dad, why did this happen? I asked doctors, why did this happen? And they don't know. There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you got to live with. The choice that we have, though, is either to give up or keep on going. I want to ask you, what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe in yourself? Are you going to believe everybody else's judgment on you? How did I get from depressed to who I am today? Because I tell you, I was depressed. When I was age 8, I used to concentrate on the things I didn't have. I wish I had arms and legs, and I wish I could do this, but what can I do? You see, I have a choice. I can either be angry for not having arms and legs or be thankful for my chicken drumstick. And I'm traveling around the world. It's amazing. But I had to ask myself a couple questions. And the first question was really, who am I? Who am I? I'm Nick Vujicic, but who is that? Because there's nothing good about having no limbs, but I love my life. Do you want to know why? Because I've seen the purpose. When you see me for the first time, many of you felt sorry for me. Do you feel sorry for me anymore? No. Why? Because you know who I am. But don't you remember I have no arms and no legs? Would you want to be my friend?
Yeah, so that is where I just wanted to end. Like I said, I'm basically a seeker and learner for life. Here are some of my details. I'll be happy to connect. I know it's a very short kind of a thing. We already extended this by 5 minutes. And that is where I thought the excellence mindset, where we looked at ADLI, LETCI, and the entire concept of CEO, which is clarity of vision. And again, we heard Nick saying the purpose is very important. The second is execution-led evolution and important. How much time are we giving ourselves to sharpen our axe, coming back and do and try new things, not be afraid of failures, try and experiment. I think that's really important. And the last one is onward and upward, just being grateful to what. I think that's something which I just wanted to share. And with that, I'm almost done. Any questions, any observations, comments? I'd be happy to kind of take
So
or respond.
Yeah, so thank you so much, sir. Great leaders don't just speak, they ignite thinking process. And thank you, Deshpande sir, for awakening our inner CEO and honor to learn from you onward and upward together. So we can go with the two process. I will request to batchmates if you have some quick questions, you can ask there. Either you can email me, I can ask to sir, and then I will request to my batchmate and friend Sivani Joshi with go with a vote of thanks on the behalf of entire AGMP 17 batch cohort. I am Ahmedabad. And there is a thanks from the our co-chair Saurabh Bura and from the side of Tarun Jain. So they said thank you to you, sir, for joining this wonderful AGMP speaker session.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This is Manu Sharma. Really a great session, and you tell us about the approach towards life. Yeah, really delighted about it. If you can also tell me about like how is your morning rituals, and when you wake up at 4 a.m., then how you go about your day, how you are planning it, because it is transition happening within us. So we also have to follow something particular in our life from now onwards to till the end, like whenever we are going to office and how we are following the task, how we are managing the task.
Sure. So I'll be happy to share, but see what suits you. This is something which I have kind of found it pretty useful and helpful. So one is, yeah, I try to wake up early in the morning, and I try to go for some quick successes. And that quick success, my blanket as soon as I wake up. And those 5 seconds are really important to determine who I really am. At times it is the body which is really giving up and saying, "Arey nahi, aur thoda der so jate." But that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you get up and do what you're supposed to do. So I think that itself starts on a great note. So I kind of do that. I'd say almost 90% because I also travel quite extensively. Sometimes there is jet lag, and but I try to give that because a 4 a.m. over here in UK might be different. So, but your body will stand up to it. Uh, First thing is, which is a huge no-no, I'd say is the check-in. And typically, I have seen that the check-in happens with our phone, our email, and all, and then we are really destroying the day. That check-in needs to happen with who we are. We should not get bothered with email or day-to-day activities. So this first 7 minutes are going to be really, really important for me myself. Might be a small amount of meditation and this thing. So that's really important that you give it. And then you start with your activity, and because your body requires some shocks. There's a great book called Limitless which talks about how do you do things differently. If you're left-handed, you'd be brushing your teeth with left hand, try doing it with the right hand. Same things, you just confuse your body, don't get into that zone of familiarity. And I try to go to my normal routine, walking, spending some time in the gym, doing various things, giving shocks to body. See, as our brain is structured for safety, the first thing that we'll look for is safe, secure environment. Our brain is not structured for growth, and that is where we need to shock mind and this thing. So I do that. I do a little bit of swimming, cold showers, and all. And I also spend some time in terms of my own morning meditation or prayers and all. And then I find my battery is fully charged up. But the plan of getting 4 in the morning starts a day earlier. That is, I don't sleep less, but it's important to be restful. So the amount of sleep that we have should be adequate. So I think those are some of the things which I do, but I also fail sometimes. I'm not perfect, but yes, there are those challenges once in a while. Broadly
Yeah,
that is,
that's fine.
but
Yeah.
what works for you?
Yes. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So maybe Shrey, then Karuna and Venkatramana.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It was really an insightful session. So my query is like, uh, could you please provide us some tips like how to draft an effective vision and mission statement?
So the effectiveness of vision is more around parameterization. So I think one is an intent level, and if you actually look at some of the vision statements of the companies, you will come to know that they have parameterized it very well. For example, if you look at, I mean, I'm just taking an example of Tata Steel. They have very clearly said that we would be number one in terms of this thing. So likewise, when we are looking at our own thing, what is that measurability? When will I know that I have reached there? Just keep asking those questions. What will tell me that I am in the right direction? What will tell me that I have made progress? And the aspects of parameterization becomes very important. And that's the difference between a very vague kind of a thing. I'd want to be a leader. It's very vague. Or I want to just read books. No, it's very vague. Set a task aside saying that every day I'll read at least 10 pages. That is much more manageable rather than saying that I want to be a reader. So break it out to that aspect which is parameterized, and that will be manageable. And that will also give you a sense of progress of where you are going. And then you can kind of enhance it or get more aspects to it. I hope that helps you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Karuna.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session. So, what I understand is, the perception that you carry matters a lot in climbing the corporate ladder. So, will this ADLI approach also help in enhancing your perception in an organization?
Yeah, perception is normally the reality. We feel reality is different, but it's basically the perception. And to do that, it requires significant amount of process maturity as well as culture. And we may call it discipline, we may call it certain things. The ability to say no, the ability to do what is the right thing to do, be it an organization, be it something what we would want to do in life. So that is where we get those takes of not being a nice person, not be pleasing everybody, take those to be done. So I think that rigor, that discipline helps to build character, be it an organization, be it an individual, or be it a civilization. So I think those aspects really help, and perception is normally the reality. So I think, and once process maturity, ends, that's where culture takes over. So, for example, we spoke about I getting up early. So now I don't need an alarm. So there's something internally which says, just before 4, I wake up and do it. The process is initially I had to keep an alarm and keep an alarm away from my bed, because the first thing is we'll get up and just keep it nearby so that we can snooze it. So ensure that it is kept very away from your bed. Wake up, go there, and by the time you switch it off, you feel an A. But then as you do it, that aspect of 10,000 hours of repetition builds that aspect. And then wherever you are, so those DNA changes also happen in us as we get into it. So Karuna, that's something which I would want to.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, sir. And I will request my batsman Shivani Juicy to take lead and for the vote of thanks.
Okay,
And thank you
okay, see,
everyone for
Venkatramana, but
being very
maybe
interactive.
Venkatramana, you can reach out to me separately. Both Naveen and Arvind have my number, so that we don't stop others from this thing, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
definitely, sir. I
Okay.
shall. I shall. I
Okay.
shall.
Over to
Thank you.
you, Naveen. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you so much, sir, for your thoughts on mastering the inner CEO and cultivating an excellence mindset. This has given all of us valuable perspectives to reflect upon and implement in our personal and professional journeys. And especially the depth of your experience combined with the clarity and simplicity of your message, it has made today's session not only informative but deeply motivating for all of us. So, on behalf of the entire AGMP community, my batchmates, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, and thank you so much for taking time out of your demanding schedule and share your wisdom and experience with us. We are truly honored to have you at inaugurate our speaker series. And I would also like to thank my fellow participants for joining us today and contributing your energy and enthusiasm to make this session engaging and meaningful. I hope, sir, you have equally enjoyed with us the way we love this session. Thank you once again.
Yes, I certainly loved it, and it was very good to interact, engage with everybody. Apologies for the slight delay, but it was a wonderful thing, and really like the openness with which everybody interacted. I know when you do it for 80 people, it's a challenging, but I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'll take back lots of positive memories back.